everybody, and welcome to today's iStore Meet session. And this is how your iPad can become your personal assistant. My name is Demi. I have with me today my wonderful colleague Z. And today we are just really keen to bring to you this session and just show you a little bit more about what your iPad can do for you. This session is an iStore Meet session, and it is brought to you in partnership with Think Ahead. Now, Think Ahead works in partnership with schools to help support them in their 21st century teaching and learning journey. We help school practitioners design and implement the best possible experiences for teachers and students in the most cost-effective, sustainable, and accessible way possible. Before I hop into today's session, I just want to give you a little bit of background about who Think Ahead is with this very short video. Okay, so that's just a little bit about who we are and what we do. I will put those details up for you again at the end of today's session, as well as share with you some really cool upcoming sessions and some special iPad offers that we have available to teachers and schools. So before I jump into today's session, I'm sure we all are very comfortable using Zoom. Chat with me in the chat box in today's session. Tell me where you're joining me from. If you're from a school, share with me which school you're from. Use that chat box throughout the session to pop in questions, anything that you'd like me to go over again, repeat, or show you something, just pop it in that chat box. You can also share more around today's session using the hashtag iStoreMeet and stand a chance to win a 1,500 Rand iStore gift card, which is a fantastic thing just for sharing about the session. And then lastly, if there are any one of you out there that would love to host your own iStore Meets session, you can contact our team. The email address is on the screen just to find out more about becoming a host. Okay, so hi everybody. I see we've got Bridget and Jenny. It's so good to have you guys here. I'm really excited about this. So let's hop straight into that. Now, like I said to you, I know it says iPad tools, but we're really looking at these tools and features that can just help you every single day using your iPad. We all wish and sometimes hope that we could have this little personal assistant next to us, just helping us with these little tasks that take up our time, that really are important for us to remember to do, but they are that little bit of extra admin, and I'm going to show you how your iPad can be that person for you. So we're going to look at some of the features that you can use on your device to actually help you day to day. The features that we're going to focus on today is going to be the Reminders app, one of my favorite apps. Just one below the next one, which is notes and scribble. It is my all-time favorite. I'm going to show you how to set up mail so that you can have all mailboxes all together, and just add in some of those little features that just make your mails look a little bit more professional and nice. We're going to look at the ultimate personal assistant, Siri, how you can set her up, what can she actually do for you. And then we're going to look at the shortcuts app, which works very, very well with Siri to show you the most that you can get out of Siri. Okay, so I'm going to head on and start right with reminders. And Z is such a big fan of reminders. Z, tell us why you love the reminders app so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Z, and yes, Demi is right. The Reminders app is super amazing, and what's even better is it's built in with Apple. You don't even have to download an extra app. It's just there. It's on your phone. It's on your iPad. It's on your MacBook. It's everywhere, and I love that it's so seamless in a sense that like you can create lists, especially shopping lists. I usually do my shopping list in the beginning, of the week. I prepare my shopping list, go for shopping on the weekend, for the next week, and I'll note down all the little things that I need on my grocery list. When I get to the shops, I know exactly what I need. I tick it off if I found it. If I haven't found it, at least it still sits there, and I know for next week that's the stuff that I still need to get. But I mean, I know people that do that, that have couples that go grocery shopping, and they'll add things. If one of the people will buy the ingredient, they'll tick it off the list so that the other person can see that that's been bought already. So you're not double buying things. And I mean, that's just one simple, easy way. But there's so many other ways, and Demi's going to show you all the different ways you can actually use the Reminder app.
Absolutely, Z. I couldn't agree more. I use reminders with my husband so that we actually go to the shop and buy what we intend to. But bigger than that, we use it in our work environment where we can set tasks for each other. So if we're working on a project, we can have this project as a reminder. We can share links. We can share a little bit of notes. We can actually track when we message people using iMessage to give conversations, to actually keep that all in one way. It is brilliant. So I'm going to head straight into reminders. If you've got your iPad in front of you, follow along with me, play around with it. Any questions, remember, pop it in the chat box and I'll answer them for you as quickly as possible. So there we go. I'm going to open up my reminders app. Now, like you see, the first thing that you're going to see when you open up reminders, if it's the first time you're using this, then you are actually going to find a little bit of a welcome message. You can just click through that, and then you're going to see this. Now, on the left-hand side, you have the category of apps or the category of reminders that you can actually have. So you've got ones that are due today. You've got scheduled ones that are coming up. You can see all your reminders, or you can flag reminders to just remind you even further about them, or if they're important, just put them up in a separate category. Now, you also get your lists, and these lists are all the reminders that you are going to be creating. What I love, and you can see I've already made a folder to have all my reminders related to work into one folder. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that. Right at the top of the screen, just at the end of that gray section, you have the word edit. If you tap on edit, I'm going to remove these ones. And you can see at the bottom, I've got now add a group. So I'm going to add the group, and the only reason I deleted it is because I'm going to add the same group, and I'm going to call it work. Now, if you've already started using reminders, and if you already have reminders that you've created that you'd like to include underneath this work folder, you can go and tap on the include, and those lists will appear. You can see I had no reminders, so it's just going to be a folder that I'm going to create. So I'm going to tap on create, and there it is. It's got my work folder. Now I can go and tap on that little I button at any time, and then I can choose to add in any of my reminders to that. So if I make a reminder and don't put it in there, I can go back later and I can do that. Jenny, you've asked if you need to add an account. You don't need to add any accounts. If you've got your iPad, you've got the Reminders app downloaded on your iPad, it syncs with your Apple ID. So you don't need to add in any accounts. There's no pesky setup. It's just there, as it's there on your iPad, on your iPhone for you to use. Okay, now I can go and I can click at the bottom and I can say add a list. So if I want to add a reminder list, I can add that, or I can click done right at the top of that. You'll see that add list button is still there, so I can add in any lists at any time. Now, when I go to add in a list, it gives me, it asks me for the name of it. I'm going to name this list I store meats. Oopsie, there we go. Really creative, really fun, just to add that extra flair, especially if you're in a classroom and you're making reminders lists for your students, to add in that little bit of colorful effect. If you want to do it subject based and have different subjects, have different colors, just helps to keep everything organized. So I'm going to make it a bit of a lighter blue color. And then again, you can add in these little icons, again, just to make it more organized, make it a little bit more interactive and fun. Okay, now all I've done is I've made my list that says I store meats. If this list didn't appear in my work folder, so you can see it's not in my work folder as yet, I can simply just tap and hold on it and drag it into my work folder. And there you go, it's added into that work folder. So that's just looking at adding in lists, making nice folders so that you can have all these lists in here. Getting down to the actual reminders and what it is that you're going to create, how you're going to create this. I'm now moving to the second section. So I'm done with the gray section. I'm moving to the other section. And at the bottom, I've got add a new reminder. So you can see it comes up as this little tick list. And I'm going to say, remind Z to add the Zoom links. So I'm just going to say Zoom links. What I can further go and do is I'm just by tapping on that little I next to what I'm typing, I can add in a little bit of notes. So I can say here to Z, please add links to site. You can say this for students. You can ask them to complete an activity in a booklet. You can ask them to, you can do this in your own personal capacity. If you need to remember to photocopy worksheets, if people still do that. If you need to remember to send an email to a parent, you can add this in. You can add in the parent's email address so you remember how to do that. You can even, if you want to reference a site or in your email to a parent, say to them, we encourage your child to visit this site to get a bit more activities. You can add that in. So I'm going to add in our think ahead. There we go. .co.za. So Z knows, please go to this website and add in the Zoom link. I can then go in and say, I want you to have it done by a specific date, which would be, say, by Thursday. I can even say, I'd like it done by 10 o'clock in the morning, please. So that's how I can customize this reminder. Now, if, for instance, this was a meeting that I had to get to, or if it was something that I had to meet somebody, I could add a location to it. So when I get that reminder that tells me, remember, you've got this coming up, it would tell me exactly where I need to go. I can even then set it to tell me how much travel time I need to take to get there. Then most incredible, the when messaging feature here, if you switch that on, anytime you go into iMessage, if you go into messages and you go to send somebody a message, it will look out for these words. It will look out for the word Zoom. It will look out for the date. And as you start typing it, it would pop up as a reminder. So every time you have a conversation around this, it will track it for you and it will say you messaged on this and this date and this time. So it's really a nice way to keep everything together and to just actually collaborate nicely. You can prioritize it. Again, here you can add it to a list if you hadn't already. You can add subtasks. So I can also say, add another subtask and say, create the Zoom link. And if I wanted to, I can add an image. If it was something that I wanted her to see something, I can do that. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to click on done. And here you see it's all the information there. I've said Zoom links. I've said, please add it to the site. I've given her the website to add it to. And I said, you've got to actually create that Zoom link. Now, yes, I'm get all this information and I'm thinking, okay, this needs to go to Z. I still need to share that with her. Now, you can share lists with somebody before you start typing out all the information, before you put in all the reminders. And every time you update it, they will get a notification that you've updated this reminder. To do that, you're going to go to the top right-hand corner where those three dots are. You can see here, I can say share list. And there are so many ways you can share it. You can share it in messages, in mail, which I'll show you a little bit about later. If you have workflow systems, you can share that there. You can copy the link and just send that to somebody. So there really is a lot of different ways that you can share this. I'm going to go to copy link and you'll see here, it now just pops up and asks me, who do you want to share this with? I'm going to say z@ischoolafrica.com. Check that I got that right. I'm going to say copy link, and there you go. Right at the top, it says this list is now shared with Z. So Z would be able to get this. She would be able to go and say, oh, I've created that link, and she's going to tick it off. And as soon as things get done, you'll see it ticks off. It disappears from what needed to happen. And you can just keep track of things that way. So that is reminders in a nutshell. It's such an amazing app. It's so powerful. I love the fact that you can automatically now get these reminders through on your phone. If you've got your Apple ID linked to your phone and your iPad and even a MacBook, you get these reminders across all of them. So it really is such a brilliant way to just keep track of things, to make sure you're not missing out on things. The next thing that I wanted to share with you on how to turn your device into your personal assistant is going to be, like I said, one of my favorite apps, the Notes app. But before I go on and start sharing information around Notes, Z, tell me what your favorite features are when it comes to using the Notes app.
Okay, so the Notes app, wow. With the new iOS update for the iPad, it's insane. I mean, there's so much more features that it's come with. And one of my favorite is, usually you're sitting in meetings, having to write down notes using a pen and paper. And I'm like, oh, I've got to type these minutes out. I've got to type these notes out and share it with the team. But what's super amazing with Notes is that you have your Apple Pencil, you have your iPad, you jot down these notes, and it actually turns it into text. And then you can actually share that text with the rest of your team. Mind blown.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more there. That by far has saved me so much of time. It's unbelievable. Like I said, I absolutely think that handwriting is so natural and it's fluent, and it's such a nice way to capture your thoughts and your ideas, not only with planning and prepping and things like that. It's just taking down notes in meetings. It's seamless. And if you do have an Apple Pencil, it becomes so much, so it just takes it to that next level. Like you said, handwriting or changing your handwritten text into typed out text is absolutely incredible. Before I head into Notes, I do want to show you that feature of changing your handwritten text into typed out text, and how you can activate this if it hasn't been activated already. Now, this is a feature that comes with your Apple Pencil. So if you head into settings and you go into Apple Pencil. So as I'm scrolling down a little bit, you go into Apple Pencil. You can see you've got different features here. You can only draw with your Apple Pencil. And then you've got that feature Scribble. Now, Scribble is that feature that helps you change handwriting into text. I'm going to click on the Try Scribble. Here, what it does is, so just make sure that's switched on. here what it lets you do is just try it out a little bit. So it shows you how you can do handwriting. So I'm just going to type hello, and you'll see it changes it into text for me. It goes through to show you if you want to delete a word, how you do that with your pencil. So there's no more having to switch from a pencil to tap with your finger and delete something. You can literally just scratch it off and it will delete it for you. It shows you how to select text. So if you want to select something, to maybe copy it or to maybe cut it or anything of that, you can do that by circling it or putting a line through it. How to then insert things in between words. So if you want to add in a little bit more between words, you can insert. And then if you want to join, or if you want to separate words. Okay. So Lexi, it is compatible with your Apple Pencil, unfortunately, because of the technology behind the Apple Pencil. Okay, now I'm going to head into notes. And here you can see I'm going to show you some of these features just by opening up a note and by tapping on my screen. So I've got my pencil and I'm just going to start writing, and it automatically starts writing. If I want to adjust it a little bit and I want to maybe get it to write my handwriting as text, I'm going to tap on that little circle with the pencil at the top, and I get that toolbar. And here I can see that first option that has, it's a pen with the letter A. I can start typing, or I can start writing. My name is Demi. And you can see as I start writing, it starts fading. Now it's really, really accurate. I very seldomly struggle with words that I'm writing. And I've tried even with little bits of scribbles and stuff to see how that works. Above from just the handwriting as text, or getting your handwriting to text, you can even go, and if I'm typing out something, I can say, hi, my name is, I'm going to use Z's name here. And then I can select everything. So I'm just going to select everything that's on my screen, or all that handwriting. And when I tap onto it, you can see I get the option to copy as text. Now that is brilliant, because sometimes if you're in a meeting and you just want to handwrite, you don't want it to change it to text at that time, you can then go and copy out that whole note, go anywhere on your documents, and there we go. I'm just going to tap there and I'm going to go and paste it. And you can see it took that handwriting and I've pasted it. And you don't have to paste it in notes. You can paste it in pages. You can paste it in numbers, in Keynote. You can paste it anywhere, because it's copied that handwriting and then pasting it as text. So that's really, really incredible. One feature of notes that I use ever so often, and especially in meetings, is I use shapes. And I love using shapes because it helps things stand out. It makes sure that I know what's important, where I'm getting to. And with notes and shape recognition, you can do this seamlessly. One of my favorite shapes to actually use is little bubbles. So I can just go ahead and draw a very squiggly bubble. I'm going to hold it at the end. I'm not lifting my pencil off. And there you can see it's made a perfect, nice little bubble for me. There are so many shapes. You can do a square, and all you got to do is just hold it there at the end and then let go, and it draws it there, a perfect shape for you. There really are quite a few different shapes that you can use, from stars to circles to pentagons and hexagons. So really one of my favorite features with notes. And then coming to the last feature that I wanted to show you, and that is going to be data detectors. So I scribbled on a little bit earlier a date, a time, and I scribble down Z's email address. And ever so often when you're in meetings, people will tell you something that you take down a note and then they say, Z, but this is for you to do. Please do it by the 22nd of January. So you write a little scribbly note and you say 22nd of January due date. What's amazing is with notes, you will see that these dates that I've written down have a little bit of a line underneath it. And if I tap and I hold on it, it brings up my calendar. So I can create, and it brings up a lot of options. So I can see already immediately when I've written down this date, do I have anything booked for me at that same time? That shows me my January 22nd view. I can then say, okay, I am free. I can go and I can create this event in my calendar. I can create it as a reminder. I can just show it in my calendar, or I can copy any of this event details. Absolutely time saver. It just helps you while you're there in the moment. You don't have to go after the meeting and say, oh, I need to remember to add this to my calendar, or to make sure that I send it as a note or send it as an email. Really, really brilliant. You can do the exact same thing with the time. If you have a time there, you can just click on it. You're just tapping and holding. Now, sometimes with the data detectors, give it a second to draw that line underneath. And you can see I wrote the date in this format. It works with a whole lot of different formats. You can have 22 January, and it would work in that way. You can do the same for phone numbers. If somebody gives you their phone number quickly, you can just jot it down, tap and hold onto it, and save it. Similar to the email address, if I tap and hold on it, I can say, send Z a new email. And that could be something as simple as you're in a meeting, Z's asked you to send her a document, quickly jotted down her email address, and you can send it. You can also just save this contact. You can FaceTime it. So really so much of possibilities just from this one little app, Notes. Incredible potential. There is so much available for you to do time-saving activities. And that's why Notes comes out as one of my favorite apps to use. Now, oopsie, not reminders. I want to go there. Moving on from Notes, like I said, Notes works beautifully with Scribble as well, which is the other feature that just pairs really nicely with your Apple Pencil. And then I want to look a little bit into mail. Now, we all know that we get mails coming in at us at all times. And it is really, really, really nice to just be able to have your mail app all together. Keep it all together. Keep it on your iPad, a mobile device, something where you can quickly reply to people. The other benefit of having mail opened up or set up on your iPad is that it links beautifully with all these other apps that I've mentioned. You can see straight from Notes, you can send an email. You can set a reminder that can send out an email from the Reminders app. So Mail is really such an incredible, incredible app to have on your iPad that connects seamlessly with everything else. I'm going to hop in and just show you very quickly in settings how you can set up your mail app. Most of what you do in your mail app is set up previously from settings. You can see from the picture in front of you, you can actually see your mails, view it, view the pictures that come through on it. The top right corner, you've got the little square with the pencil to create new emails. At the bottom, you've got the arrow to reply to emails. You can add emails into folders here by just tapping that little folder button at the top and creating new folders. So really, really a lot of things that you can do if it is set up really nicely in your settings app. So I'm going to head into settings again. And then I'm going to scroll down into mail. Now, here you can see right at the top, you can set up if mail has access to Siri. And I'll show you why I think that is such an incredible feature to keep on. When I look at Siri as your personal assistant, You can then choose what type of notifications come through when you receive a mail. So I've got it on all. I've got banners, sounds, and badges. So it really pops up every which way so that I can hear it. But there we go. In the next one, we have accounts. And what I love about the Mail app is it doesn't matter whether you have an iCloud account or a Gmail account or a Microsoft account. You can add all of your mail accounts to this app. So you can see if I head into accounts, I've already got 3 accounts loaded here. I've got my iCloud account, I've got a Think Ahead account, and I've got an iSchool Africa account. And I can even further go in. So I'm going to look at my Think Ahead account and I can say, what do I want to sync? Do I want to sync mails and contacts and my calendar and my notes? So I can really, really choose what it is that I want to sync with this. If I go to add account, here you go. You've got all these different types of accounts that you can add in into this mail app. Now, more than that, if I look at fetch new data, I can tap on there and I can set how often do I want it to actually look for information. Do I want it to do this automatically? Do I want it to only do it manually? I can set if I want it to check every half an hour, every hour. Really, really just making it just easy and making it simple for you to get access to these accounts. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you in the Think Ahead account, if I go at the top where it says account right there, I can see all that information. I can change the name of it. So I can actually just have an email account and then change the name of it and have a description. And that will pop up in my mail app. Going out from this one, I can still go a little bit further down. There's so many different things on how I want to view my list, how I want to set it up if I wanted to ask me before deleting, which is always a good thing to have on in case you delete messages by mistake. But the one thing that I absolutely love right at the bottom where it says composing is you can even set up your signature in the mail settings so that when you reply, you can actually reply using your signature. And you can see I can set it up for all accounts the same signature. I can set it up per account, so every account that I have will have a different signature, and I can add that in really, really nicely. Okay. Cool. I see Z has answered some questions. Thank you, Z, for that. Again, with composing, you can set your default account, which is fantastic because you might want to just reply always from a specific account or start emails from a specific account. So that's the Mail app. Really, really useful, really incredible. But I want to move on. I want to spend the next couple of minutes before I open it up to any questions you have on 2 of the most incredible personal assistants you can ever try to find on your iPad, and that is Siri and Shortcuts. Z, tell us a little bit about Siri and why it's such an incredible app or feature.
So I know, sometimes you don't always like people telling you what to do, but now you can tell your phone what to do, and that's what's so amazing. I mean, without even picking up your phone, you can literally, just ask Siri to check your calendar for the day, and Siri will tell you what events you have on for today, what meetings you have, depending on what you've put in. But even in a classroom setting, I mean, sometimes you're busy trying to multitask as a teacher, which all teachers do, and you need to set a timer for the kids while giving them a task to do. All you have to do on your iPad is just say, Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes, and that will be the timer that you give or the time that you give your students to complete a specific task. But that's how simple and easy Siri is, and it makes things so much more easier. But
Absolutely.
Demi's going to show you all the cool features about Siri.
Absolutely, Z. I couldn't agree more with that. I use Siri almost all the time. It started off being a novelty, like I loved just sitting there and like chatting to her and asking her questions, but I use her every single day to help me plan my day, to help me focus and remember what tasks I have coming ahead, to help me make sure I get to my destinations on time. Really, she does it all. Now, when I say she does it all, she can make calls for you, she can send texts for you. And this can be things while you're busy doing things like driving, when we know it's crucial that you pay attention, but we also know that sometimes you might need to just get a message across. She sometimes offers some suggestions that just helps you with things. So Siri can actually tell you if it's set up and it's done in the right way, and I'm going to show you how to set this up in a moment. She can tell you, or you can set automated responses so that if you're running late for a meeting, Siri can send a message to whoever you're meeting with and say, I'm running late, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So she can do that without even you having to ask her to do that. She really is faster, really easier. She helps you do things like Z said, set alarms and timers and reminders and get you directions. Really, she helps you every single day. Just make it a little bit easier. Now, Siri can also do things like check facts for you. She can do little calculations if needed. She can translate phrases to other languages. She really works behind the scenes as your best personal assistant. Now, I want to show you firstly how you can set up Siri if it's not set up, and then how you can use these features to the best. So I'm going to hop back into settings very quickly. I'm going to go to Siri and search. And here you can see I've set up certain things. So I can choose whether I want her to listen for the Hey Siri prompt. If I switch that off, then I can always just press and hold my home button to activate Siri. I can choose whether I want her to keep listening to me or keep listening for me when my device is locked, like my iPad. I can choose which voice she responds to. She responds to me with. I can also choose information, like I can give her certain information of mine, and then I can choose which apps. You'll see there's a whole list of apps that I have on my device, and which ones I'd like Siri to be able to use. So I set them all. I wanted to use all of them. Now, from here, Siri gets set up when you start setting up your iPad, and they usually ask you to say a couple of phrases. So that she can familiarize her voice or your voice with her. Simple things is I can already just say, hey Siri. You'll see that icon at the bottom of the screen pop up, and I can say, I'm just going to do that again so she doesn't listen to all that nonsense. And I can say, hey Siri, show me my reminders.
You have 2 reminders.
So she will tell me I have my 2 reminders. She pops it up there, a little condensed version, telling me exactly what my reminders are. I can see that information. I can do the same with, hey Siri, what do I have for the rest of the day?
You don't have any more appointments today after your 1500 hours appointment.
Okay, and that was my teacher series. That's what I'm presenting to you today. So she really, really helps you with every single thing you do. I love using Siri, especially in the mornings, to just get me focused. I ask Siri for what I have coming up for the day. I ask her to really do a whole lot of different things. I can even do things like say, "Hey Siri, open up music." And there you go. In the music app she goes, and it's there and ready for me. I can start using these prompts a little bit differently and start using it in a bit better way and say things like asking Siri to open up and play a specific song for me. I can ask Siri to look for a file for me. I can ask her to open up a book for me. So there really is endless possibilities on how Siri can help you day to day just get through these tasks. test it out, see what she understands, what she's doing for you. You can ask Siri if you've got a news app to open up the news app for you. You can ask her to tell you the top headlines for the day. You can ask Siri to get you driving directions from home to work. Now, for a little bit more complex tasks, something that you just want more specific information, like being able to say, Siri, how long will it take me to get to work? That requires a little bit of setup. That requires you putting in your home address, putting in your work address, and then getting there. Now, easy peasy, you can set that up using the most incredible app, Shortcuts. Now, Shortcuts works perfectly with Siri. You can also create little home screen icons for these shortcuts. I've sometimes used them for different things. It's There's so many possibilities. Z, share with us a little bit about how you've used shortcuts or how it helps you every day.
Yeah, so I think Shortcuts is an amazing app as well. And one of the cool features that I actually tend to use a little bit more often than I realized was you can actually have a shortcut to create a PDF out of nearly anything. So you can honestly turn like a web page or even a document into a PDF, and you could either just save that or share it with somebody. And it's that simple, that's all you have to do is just set it up in your shortcuts where it says search. You find make PDF, and sorry, and you set that up, and you can use that to actually create a PDF. It saves so much of times when you have to fill forms in, when you have documents that you need to share and people want it in a PDF format. So honestly, really an amazing app.
Absolutely. And setting these up are so simple. So when you open the Shortcuts app, you'll see I've tried to take out all the shortcuts that I've created so that you see what you get. So they have a couple of starter shortcuts, things like text last image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into it a little bit and show you what it looks like and then show you how you can get so many more of these incredible shortcuts. So if I tap on those three little dots, you can see before I tap on those three little dots, you can see the text last image shortcut has two actions. That means that when you say text last image, if you say, hey Siri, text last image, she's going to do these two actions. So, oopsie, I tapped on it. Okay, I wasn't supposed to tap on it. I was supposed to tap on the dots. So I'm just going to, there we go. Tap on those three little dots, and here you can see what she actually does is she gets the last photo from my photos album and she sends the last photo to, and she says recipient. Now I can run this shortcut as is, and when I say get last or send last photo, it's going to ask me then to who, and I can choose to who at that time. I can also then load this, and I can say to recipients, and I can set it up here. So every time I say, hey Siri, send last photo taken, it will send it to a specific person all the time. So really simple. That's the basis of it. There's so many shortcuts you can use by just going into gallery. Here you can see there are so many. They ask you for shortcuts from your apps. So you can already, based on apps that you use regularly, set that up. You can see essential apps, morning routine apps, quick shortcuts app. The list is endless. They even have a section for putting it in your diary. Shortcuts that you can create. Now I'm going to show you the when do I need to leave by. And what I'm going to do is if I tap on it, you will see it says when I run. Now that phrase can be changed. So if you don't want to say the full when do I need to leave by, you can change it and say when must I leave. And all you do is you tap on there, you can take this out and say when, I'm just going to take it all out there and say when must I leave. Oopsie. I think I took out too much there. So that will be the prompt that you use. I can go in here and see that there's 11 actions when I run this command, what it will actually do. So it'll look for my street address one. Now this is a little bit more in detail. I'll show you when you're setting it up how easy it is to do it. But this is just to give you the overview, to let you see what it is that it's going to do. So you can see it takes your travel time. It does a little bit of maths there. It takes the date that you need to get there. It takes all of this into account. So it's quite in depth there. All I want to do is I want to get the little bit done. I want it to be simple and easy. So it tells you that it'll estimate the drive time between your home and your office, then tell you when to leave to get there on time, with an extra 5 minutes to walk from your car before work starts at 9 a.m. Now, if work doesn't start at 9 a.m., we can always go into those actions. I can see here specified date. I can see time is 9 o'clock, and I can actually just go and adjust that from here. So I'm going to say add shortcut. It's going to ask you for your home address. You can add that in here. When you carry on, I'm just going to do 123 street. It's probably not going to pick up anything. You'll add in your town. I'm going to skip that step. You'll add in your work address, and it adds everything in for you. Now you can always go into your shortcuts. You can see I've added it in here, and you can edit it up again if you add in your address correctly, or if you've missed out a step, you can add that in. There are so many apps, so many shortcuts that you can actually use. I think they are incredible. They really just help you. They take Siri to that next level. And more amazing than that, if you're using shortcuts on your phone, you can set shortcuts as little widgets on your home page, so that when you just tap it, you don't have to say, hey Siri, you can just tap that shortcut and it will run it, for you. So that brings me almost to the end of today's session. I've opened up quite a few things there, so I want to get back to this one. I'll give you a couple of moments. I know there was so much information that was sent to you today. Like I said, your iPad really can do so much for you. It's just about taking that time, sitting down with it, and actually seeing what can it do to help you. So I am going to almost end off here. I'm going to give you a little bit of time. If you have any questions, anything for me, to pop it in the chat box or in the Q&A tab. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I've got some incredible things to share with you about our upcoming sessions and some special offers that Think Ahead offers, that Think Ahead has available. So I'm going to do that now. If you've got any questions, pop it in the chat, and then I'll answer them right at the end. So like I said, the upcoming sessions we have next week, using Keynote to create digital organizers. Again, just helping you through this year to get through it in the nicest, most easiest and simplest way. We do have on the 28th of Jan an iPad session on accessibility features. And then Saturday mornings, we have our kids code hours, which is absolutely incredible for kids. We've got a session for grade 4s and 5s, and then grade 6 to 9s. If you don't already know, Think Ahead has an incredible Facebook group called the #Couch2Class group. There are so many teachers on there. We share advice and tips for learning, for teaching, for hybrid learning at this stage. There really is so much that has to offer to you. So join that group. If you're not already a member of it, you can scan that QR code or search for it on Facebook. Now, as I mentioned, Think Ahead does have some incredible offers available to parents and to teachers. There's really iPad bundles for for everyone. And this is from just an iPad to an iPad and a pencil to an iPad and a cover. If you want to know more about these offers, you can scan that QR code or contact us using parents@thinkahead.co.za. For schools and educational institutes, if your school would like to make use of purchasing iPads, for students, for teachers, they can also contact us at dd@thinkahead.co.za for more information about these offers. Lastly, before I head off, I do want to mention our hashtag My Future campaign. It is such an amazing iSchool Africa campaign that focuses on assisting matric students who have been affected and continue to be affected by the impact of COVID-19. So for this campaign, we deploy we deploy matric students with iPads, with refurbished iPads that come from the iStore, our key partner, and load that with content for them. But we know as teachers that content is just not enough. We do offer these sessions to them where you and your school can get involved. To find out more about this, you can scan that QR code or visit our iSchool Africa website. That's ischoolafrica.com. So visit that website. It has lots of information there for you. And that's it from me. I see there's no questions. I want to thank Z for being here with me today. Your insights on these apps are incredible, and thank you for joining us. If you have any questions about today's session or about anything that you interested in learning about Think Ahead, you can contact us at inquiries@thinkahead.co.za or visit our website, which is www.thinkahead.co.za. So that's it from me. I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you, Z, for being here.
Thanks, Demi, for an incredible session.
Pleasure. I hope everybody has an amazing afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you at some of our future sessions. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.